Welcome to another game previews. It is your guy Alex here, the one who brings you all of the game previews. Now, if you wasn't expecting for this game to happen, it was gonna happen anyway. It is Bearcubs at Redbirds for another time at the end of the season to determine who is better. Is it Bearcubs or is it Redbirds? Well, right now for the Bearcubs, I am at very within with the Bearcubs. So disappointed in how they lost to the Bears yesterday. But with all that being said, the Bearcubs are 2-4-1 after tying a game with Thunder, and Thunder is in the same position with them. We'll have to see who goes down the right path or who will make their way down the wrong one. Let's take a look at Redbirds. Well, this season the Redbirds are 5-2 as they will rise as the number one team this season. As you already know, their top leader is Devin St. George Town Hall Alexander Smith. That guy is one guy who cannot be beat when it comes to three-pointers. He may be the number one guy in that game, and he may be the guy to just stop the Bearcubs like he did a couple of seasons ago. Right now, Devin St. George Town Hall Alexander Smith is the only person on the team with high points than anybody else on the team besides Jake Ferguson, Alexander Thompson, and Aiden Bowser. Well, let's take a look at the last 7 games from the past season before we walk into the new season. Well, the Redbirds had the same problem last season. This is the same record they had last season, but this time it's different. The Redbirds last season were 5-3, and if we take a look at the roster, Devin St. George Town Hall Alexander Smith wasn't even a part of the team last season. He didn't even have enough points. I can tell you Axel Thomas was at the top of last season with 24.8 points, 6 assists, and 1 rebound. So before you try to look at Devin St. George Town Hall Alexander Smith, you may want to take a look at Axel Thomas. You may want to take a look at him before you take a look at Alexander Smith. Now, last season, the Redbirds, they lost to the Chargers at home. They beat the Bullhorns at home. They beat the Roadrunners. They also lost to the Army Men. They beat the Chargers a second time. Then they lost to the Roadrunners the second time. Then they beat the Bullhorns a second time. And then they beat the Tigers. So, with that being said, where does that lie for the Redbirds this season? And also, let's check out their tournament. They lost to the Chargers. No, they beat the Chargers 3, I think it was back-to-back wins. Yeah, the Chargers qualified in the tournament, beating them 3 times. First, the Redbirds beat the Chargers at home. Then they went to the Redbirds home. Then the Chargers came to Redbirds, beat them 117-113. Then the Chargers beat the Redbirds at the house 117-103. And then Then they went to Redbirds, and the Chargers overcame the Redbirds 137 to 133. So my predictions are kind of starting to make sense here. Let's see this season though. In the beginning of the season, the Redbirds took a loss to the Red Wolves 133 to 129. Then they played the Bears as they beat the Bears 149 to 147. Also took another loss to the Army Men, which was previous to last season. Then they beat the Spikers, and then they beat the Bears a second time. Then they beat the Bullhorns by 1 point. And they also put an end to the Tigers, just as a recap of last season. Well, here are the people you may want to look at for this game. One of those people are Devin St. George Town Hall Alexander. This season, he pulled off 56.3 points, 3.3 assists, and 1 rebound. Jake Ferguson, 30 points, 3.3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Axel Thomas, not bad this season, with 25 points, 2.3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Aiden Bowser, 24.5 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds. Jake Sullivan, 22 points, 1 assist. Jordan Mitchell, 21 points, 2.5 assists. Andy Parsons, 21 points, 2 assists. Aiden Mills, 19.5 points, 2.3 assists, and 8 rebounds. Frederick Paul, 18 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Justin Paul with 18 points, 4 assists. Jake McDaniels, 17 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. James Miller, 16.7 points, 1.7 assists, and 7 rebounds. Jake Tillmore Miller Smith, 16.5 points, 1.5 assists. Kevin Powell, 15 points, 1.5 assists, and 1 rebound. Amari Franklin, 14.5 points, 2 assists. And Jake McBride, 14 points and 4 assists. So those are the people you may want to look at in this close matchup here. Now let's look at the Bearcubs. This season, the Bearcubs are 2-4-1 with the tied matchup with Thunder this season. Let's take a look at their previous season from the 2025-2026 season. In the beginning of the season, the Bearcubs had a win over the Spikers, won over the Bulldogs, and then they took a hard-fought loss to the Chargers, then won to the Spikers. Then they came back with a win over the Tigers, Army Men, then took a loss to the Chargers, then took a win over Thunder to put an end to their season. As they entered the tournament, they took at least 3 straight losses to the Red Wolves, but they captured the first win at home, beating the Red Wolves 115 to 108. After that, it was all Red Wolves, 121 to 118, 138 to 133, and then 145 to 136, which would capture the Red Wolves to move on to the playoffs and go up against Thunder. This season, The Bearcubs in the beginning of the season took a loss to the Roadrunners. Then they got a win over the Chargers, took a loss to the Tigers, and then they were able to beat the Red Wolves in the game of the week. And then they took a tied game matchup against Thunder, took a loss to the Bulldogs, and then took a loss to the Bears. And that is the reason why they are 2-4-1. Here are the people you may want to look at for this game to try and see if they may be able to get the Bears the win and keep their hopes alive for the tournament, because the Bears can still enter the tournament if they win this game, because they will most likely be 4-4 with that one extra tied game. So it could help them in a lot of ways. Which means, therefore, if the Bearcubs do win their last game, they will have to face the Army Men as soon as the tournament starts. Yeah, they will face that. That means Bearcubs will have Army Men, Red Wolves will have Bears, and those will be your tournament games for the East Division. Now, West Division will most likely be if the Bullhorns can overcome Thunder. If not, Thunder will face the Tigers, and the Roadrunners will have the Redbirds in the tournament. So it will most likely be an East Division team going up against a West Division team if the Bullhorns cannot pull off the victory against Thunder for Game 8. Well, here are the people you may want to look at. Benjamin Henson, 37 points, 1 assist. Cedric Paul, 26.3 points, 2.5 assists. Cinder Bennett, 26 points, 1 assist. Justin Moore, 25 points, 1.8 assists. Aiden Johnson, 23.4 points, 1.6 assists, and 2 rebounds. Mike Henson, 23 points, 2 assists. Axel Harris, 23 points, 1.7 assists. Philip Rodriguez, 21.3 points, 1.8 assists. David McDonald, 20 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Hayden King, 20 points, 4 assists. Tyler Jones, 18.8 points, 1.8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Tyler Smith, 16.3 points, 1.7 assists. Jaden King, 15 points, 1 assist. Alex Freeman, 14 points, 1 assist. Archon Anderson and Alexander Moore are out for the season. Them two might get a chance in the game against the Redbirds. Can the Bearcubs be able to save their tournament hopes, or will the Redbirds eliminate them from the tournament and the playoffs? For this game, I'm going to have to give this one to both teams. We'll have to see who will have this game. It is Bearcubs at Redbirds, Game 8, the final game between those two to end their season off. These are your game previews.